right, Alan, let's get right into it. You saw the latest two. First of all, I haven't even watched one episode of Velma. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a single episode. I'm already sick of this show because I realize as we're going through like the movies we're going to review today, Patan, Infinity Pool, Virtually Heroes, Patan is an Indian movie. Infinity Pool is like a Sundance film that's now in theaters. These are all like, and then Virtually Heroes is like a low budget, lo-fi, like indie film produced by Roger Corman, starring Mark Hamill. No one's heard of these movies. No one's going to watch. So please, I'm apologizing to everyone watching this, apologizing to
apologize to me.
Apologizing to Alan. I never apologize, but I'm going to apologize for this reason. Let me just say this. Or no, not an apology, an explanation. One, the chat voted. They want Alan to review Velma. So I have to listen to the chat. The second thing is that if we put like Infinity Pool as our thumbnail graphic, no one would watch. They'd look at it and go, I don't even know what this movie is. Why would I watch this show? So yes, our thumbnails, the purpose of our thumbnails is to try to get you to watch our live stream. So I hope it's working. But we've got some really good films to talk about today. And we've got a filmmaker interview at the end.
We just have to endure Velma to get to all that.
Well, Alan, I can't wait to hear it. Alan, tell us. And first of all, how you got here, Alan, is that the people voted. The people in the chat voted overwhelmingly. I think it was 53% to 47%.
Yeah. So basically it was a presidential election.
Yeah. Whenever they say it was a crushing win, it's like, I don't know, like a couple million vote difference is not that crushing percentage wise. It's not like the majority of the country agreed to this, but look, more than half of you did. So Alan, you saw Velma episode 5 and 6. What do you think? What are the highlights? What happens?
All right. So here's the big question. So I'm not white. Can I just go to Disney or Warner Brothers and just storm in and demand that they give me a TV show, and that I'm free of any executive notes, any creative notes whatsoever? Because I don't know how this show is made, and I don't know how it got greenlit. I think the same thing happened with She-Hulk. It's just people of color demanding their time and showing their talent, and quite frankly making an embarrassment of real people of color who have real talent. So let me just get that off my chest. Episode 5 and 6. Episode 5 is basically, it's called the Band Camp School Band Sleepover. Velma needs help getting more clues about the disappearance of her mother. I mean, her mother's kidnapping, and so she needs Norville to help her. But Norville now has a girlfriend in Gigi, and so she needs to get closer to Norville by going to this school band sleepover. And yeah, I know. And then in the meantime, Daphne figures out who her parents are. She meets her parents. And in case you were wondering, her parents are Darren and Carol. Okay. So excitement in episode 5. Okay. Episode 6. Episode 6. Now that Daphne has met her mother and father, Darren, and Carol, they now reveal the secret of basically leading up to the Mystery Machine, the Scooby Gang and the Mystery Machine. What is it? It's meddling kids. There was back in the 60s. All these kids were meddling in the works of the adults, and so through Daphne and Velma's investigations, we find out that the government has been swapping brains, turning meddling kids into super soldiers under the Special Cover Operations Brain Initiative, otherwise known as
what?
Scooby.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I hate the show. Um, so let's just talk about the writing. I keep saying this is a bad improv show, and I'll keep saying it. Um, the show has this philosophy, and this philosophy is derived from sales. Basically, if you throw out 1,000 jokes, one of them is bound to hit. So a bad comedian will tell 1,000 jokes, hoping that maybe 1% of them will hit. Uh, but good comedians will just tell the 1% of the jokes that are actually good. And this show just needs to throw out jokes constantly. I think what they did was they developed a basic script and then went line by line saying, okay, here's a line. How can we add some kind of comedy to it? So let's see. I got just a few quotes here. Uh, yeah. So like Fred is in love with Velma, and says he wants to help, and says that he's now a feminist because he read the feminine mystique, and she says, this isn't you thinking I'm related to your nanny again. I mean, um there's another thing where he says, what is it? I know, I almost hate reading these things. uh let's see. Oh yeah, he was digging through his dad's office drawer and he found his men's workout magazines. uh we're let's see. Oh, Velma is, what is it? Yeah. So this is the show is it's just it's like I said, it's bad improv. It's someone says something and you have to respond with a bad joke to it. The other thing is the show is wasting all the show is trying to include little Easter eggs about Scooby-Doo. For example, we just talked about Operation Scooby. Um, but what they do is they introduce these Easter eggs and do nothing with it. For example, when Daphne meets her parents, they're dressed as Captain Caveman. Why? Well, because we love Captain Caveman, and so of course they have to dress as Captain Caveman, and that's
Yeah,
as far as the joke goes.
I
They
used to
also
watch. I used to watch Captain Caveman and Jabberjaw, among
Mhm.
others.
Well,
So
hopefully Jabberjaw will appear, and maybe Dino Mutt if we're lucky.
Dino
Uh,
Mutt.
the other, yeah, they explain why Daphne has red hair. Um, finally, why is this Asian girl? Why does she have red hair? It's because her mother smoked during pregnancy, and that's the joke, and that's why Daphne has red hair. And
Is that
so,
how people? Is that how people get red hair? Is you smoke during pregnancy?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
and
stupid.
so, like I said, it's just the here's what I think happens in the writers' room, and I'm pretty sure this happened at the She-Hulk writers' room. But someone will come up with some inane joke like, "Oh, why does Daphne have red hair? Oh, because her mother smoked. That's a great idea." And then they would high five each other. And I feel like in this writers' room, there's a lot of high fiving for just really bad inane jokes. And a lot of these jokes, this idea that Fred's dad has men's fitness magazines in his office drawer. You know, there's no setup for that. They're just saying it to say it. It's not like we necessarily developed this character that developed this idea that Fred's dad was into homoerotic photography. Um, and they're just it's just okay. These are basically kids jokes. When you watch kids television, it's just a series of dad jokes. But the problem
Right.
is this show is not for kids. And
Yeah.
so why are you telling jokes for kids to adults who you hope watch the show? So this show is not going to get better. There's this mystery of Velma's mother that I don't care about. Who's killing the girls in the school? I mean, you forget all the time that there's a serial killer on the loose. So yeah, again, I deserve a TV show. I want to write a TV show. Can I? I mean, it doesn't. The qualifications are basically my skin color. So give me a TV show.
Well,
I'll write it. And
Alan,
I will guarantee you it's better than Velma.
I have questions. So that was just episode 5 or episode
Five
5
and
and
six
6?
is
5
five and
and
six.
6. These are the events that transpire. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I no surprise, I have questions. So is this show's like a prequel to before they get the mystery machine? So
Yeah.
we're basically leading directly up to, you know, like just the Scooby-Doo show that we already know.
Yeah. Yeah,
How
apparently
is that even
there'll be
possible?
some accident where all the characters turn white and then have a talking
Right.
dog.
Yeah, like Jack Napier in the '89 Batman. They're all gonna, fall in a vat of goo and come out completely white. Um, that makes no sense. I don't, I mean, and also I've heard that Mindy Kaling actually claims that the reviews of this, or the reviews, excuse me, the ratings are very high, and part of the reason has to be that people are hate watching this. I can't imagine anyone is watching this because they like it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Rotten Tomato scores, and they're very low, even the audience score, and it's hard to counter that without, you could blame bots, but I mean, this is kind of ridiculous.
Well, the audience score is the one that I trust.
Mhm.
But the critic score is low, isn't it? Like 50
Yeah.
per. Could you bring it up? Let's bring it up. What the score is. But look, I have no intention of watching it. I haven't watched it. Um, I'm really glad that you're watching it, and I'm glad that the thumbnail may have brought the almost 500 people watching right
Oh,
now.
hey,
What?
yeah, 500 people. Welcome.
Okay, so now we're standing at, oh my God, 6% audience score, 44% critic
Yeah,
score. Now the
I'll be
44%,
honest. I kind of call bullshit on Rotten Tomato television critics
why is
because
that?
they tend to. I feel like they tend to like everything, and that it's rare that they hate something like Rings of Power.
Mhm.
But 44% says a lot that you know that at least someone's recognizing the quality of it. But that score is way too high.
Well, not just that, I feel like, and we've been we experienced this, right? Like, I don't know that you can fully review a show based on the 2 or 3
Mhm.
episodes that you get to see first. You've got to look at a whole season. Same thing with Last of Us. I think with The Last of Us, you and I are both cautiously optimistic.
Mhm.
I, I'm I'm really sold. I'm going to continue watching it. And with I think with House of the Dragon, we were skeptical, and wow, that that held up. 10 episodes, not every episode's a home run, but as a full season, wow, they got me. It um back to loving Game of Thrones. Uh,
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at Kenobi.
or at least the
Rotten
world.
Tomatoes gave Kenobi 82%.
Well, this is the thing. Like look, this happened to us with She-Hulk, right? We saw the first 3
Yeah.
episodes. I like the first 2 because I thought, oh, wait, Marvel's doing a flawed female character. I'm curious what sort of character journey and arc she'll have. Well, she'll come to understand that she's an asshole. That never happened. It's just all
But
justification
she
for being.
remained an asshole.
She remains an asshole from the beginning, and I'm like, that's okay. This was my defense at the time. It's okay because Tony Stark was an asshole, and he came to be someone who was a selfish person who became a selfless person and sacrificed his life to save the universe. That's a hero. Okay. Jen did not understand what a hero was, the reluctant hero. And that's part of the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell. That was fine. So we saw the first few episodes, and Alan and I got like that third episode, I really, really did not like. That's where she goes on the date.
Mhm.
It was just dumb. But but yeah, I don't think you can judge a series. I mean, even with Velma, I know you've seen the first 6 episodes, Alan, and there are more episodes to go. What if it gets better?
It can't. It just can't. Again, just like She-Hulk, the whole series is contained, and like She-Hulk, the quality of the writing just got worse and worse as it went along. You talked about not liking the date. The good thing that came out of the date episode in She-Hulk was Madison.
Right, right.
And so there were moments that were good, and you thought that maybe they, okay, maybe good and bad, they're balancing equally, and then it just went worse. And this show, I can't imagine someone at this point in the series is thinking, hey, this is not working. Let's make changes, because that's not happening.
Well, and normally too with a television show, you want to put your best foot forward, right? Like
Absolutely.
so the first few episodes are going to be among your best episodes, and generally the end of the season should end strong, start strong, end strong. boom. So
Yeah.
so
Well,
there you go.
the whole point of that first episode is you need to wow the audience to have them invest in the rest of the series. You know, if
Right.
you don't capture your audience right there, they're gonna not go to that second episode. And
Right.
you know, the Last of Us was just one of those things where it was just like, okay, enough good is in this, enough exciting good is in this for me to give it the second episode.
Right.
Um, you know, I'm not sure I'm bought on the whole series, but you know, I am going episode by episode, and after two, I'm definitely in for the third episode.